You've been reporting on this story for most of the day, and earlier you mentioned that you could still hear those trapped inside. Are you still able to hear some people trapped within the debris?
All right, Lilian, just like you've asked, from 8 p.m. we've had the rescue operation still going on. Just looking behind me, we have around 7, 8 workers who are still at the rubble. It's not as noisy as it was at 8 p.m. where they were telling us that they could hear the voices of children crying out for help. Since then, it's been 45 minutes. No one has been pulled out from there. There's a lot of generator noise. We cannot hear anything from the people in the building. However, those who are still there are trying to listen into them.
As the rescue operations continue, are you aware whether this exercise will carry on throughout the night? What are the persons there that are engaged in the rescue operation saying?
All right, earlier in the morning we had the PS for Public Works, Mr. Gordon Kihalangwa. We had the National Construction Authority, we had the Kenya Defence Forces, and there were so many people who were here and there wasn't a clear chain of command. But right now we have the Kenya Red Cross still on standby, and I'm made to understand that we have also the rescue team from the Kenya Defence Forces, and they will be here just still trying to figure out how to get to the third floors, but there's a vacuum just at the building, so I believe this exercise will continue until they can save those who are still unaccounted for. As at 6 p.m. we were told that there were 30 people who are unaccounted for, and so I believe that this will continue until at least they can find the last person. So we will be here and they will be as well.
And Dorcas, you talk about there being not a very clear chain of command, but you're talking about Red Cross officials being on site. In terms of an information desk or a call center where persons can report their missing ones, or where people can get information on their missing persons, if that should be the case for people who are looking for perhaps people that might be missing that resided within that building. Is there a communication center there? Is there an information desk, and who is manning it?
I think the most reliable source of information as at now is still the Kenya Red Cross Society. And then we also had the Deputy Commissioner for the Nairobi County, Mr. James Moirori, who was giving information to the press. So earlier in the morning, it was very hard to see that clear chain. But as of now, most families are coming to the Kenya Red Cross desk and also getting in touch with the local leaders. We've seen the Nyumba Kumi leader, we've seen the chief. There were efforts to try to trace the landlord and the caretaker. We haven't had much about the development, but the Kenya Red Cross is providing a clear chain of information, as well as the local leaders and even the police. The police are on site. So we saw one woman who was in Chemtai Goin's story. When she came in to look for her husband, she first came to the Red Cross and then she came to where the police officers were. But as this continues, I believe by the end of this day, there will be a clearer way for those who have been missing to report who is still not yet been found.
And in terms of the needs of the persons that have been rescued and indeed the people that are involved in the rescue mission, are you aware how people can help, how well-wishers or indeed the government or whoever is in a position to help is able to come in and help at this time when the rescue operation is still ongoing?
All right, just as you've mentioned the needs, one thing that the people who are in charge of this rescue are asking the public first not to do is not to come close to the building. Like, if you were able to see around, there have been people milling here from morning, crowds and crowds. So the first thing they did was to tell people first to stay back, because this is an active operation. Debris is falling, structures are falling. But then we've seen people bring in water, we've seen people help bring torches, people bringing in flashlights. We have generators that have been going on and off. We've seen even people just bringing moral support, like encouraging those who are coming here and cannot trace their relatives. And we've also seen people giving information like, where have you seen my child? There was a mother whose child had left to go and play. So I think right now, if people can give even water, warm blankets, that would really help. but I think also just that moral support, just that reminding people that they're not alone. But for now, people are also being urged to stay away from this far site. If they can come to where the Red Cross van is, that would be of much help.
Okay, many thanks, Dorcas Wangira, reporting there from Tassia, where a building, a 6-story building collapsed today. That's Tassia Embakasi East constituency here in Nairobi. 5 people have been confirmed dead so far.